Have you ever truly wondered what would happen if the U.S. economy didn't just dip, but completely collapsed? We're not talking about a mild recession here. Imagine total chaos, markets crashing, massive layoffs, banks in panic mode, and public services grinding to a halt. While most people assume we'd all just weather the storm together, the truth is much darker. Some states are already on the brink, and a major economic crash could send them spiraling into complete collapse. We're talking about hospitals shutting down, schools closing indefinitely, basic services disappearing, and communities being left with no safety net. What's even more shocking? Some of these states look perfectly fine at a glance, boasting big cities, tourist attractions, and industries. But underneath the surface are deep fractures that could split wide open under financial stress. In this video, we're revealing the 6 U.S. states that would be the first to fall if the economy tanks. So be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. A quick note before we start. This isn't about pointing fingers at states or their residents. This is pure economics. We're breaking down which places are the most at risk if a major recession hits hard. Think of this as a stress test. Who buckles first? Our criteria? We looked at real warning signs, poverty levels, dependency on federal funding, outdated industries, collapsing infrastructure, and stagnant job markets. If your economy is clinging to one fragile industry or your budget's held together by hope and duct tape, you're in trouble. Number 6, Alaska. Alaska might be stunning and adventurous, but financially it's on thin ice, literally. What many people don't realize is that Alaska's state budget relies almost entirely on oil. About 85% of its general fund revenue comes from oil and gas production. When oil prices crash, the state doesn't just get uncomfortable, it enters full-blown fiscal panic. Even worse, oil production itself is declining. Fields like the North Slope are drying up, meaning Alaska is earning less even as prices fluctuate wildly. It's like losing your job and getting a pay cut at the same time. To stay afloat, Alaska constantly dips into its savings, specifically the Alaska Permanent Fund. But even that is starting to feel like a temporary bandage on a long-term wound. Add in the fact that nearly a third of the state's GDP comes from federal spending, and things look grim. If DC cuts back in a recession, Alaska's economy could face a total breakdown, especially in rural communities where basic services are already hard to come by. Number 5, Mississippi. Mississippi isn't just struggling, it's stuck. The state has been trapped in a cycle of generational poverty for decades. Nearly 1 in 4 residents live below the poverty line, and in some rural counties, it's more than 35%. This isn't just bad, it's catastrophic. Mississippi has the lowest median household income in the U.S., and job opportunities are either scarce or severely underpaying. Only about half of working-age adults have full-time employment, not because they don't want to work, but because there's simply not enough work to go around. The infrastructure, crumbling. Roads, water systems, public buildings, many haven't been updated in decades. Jackson, the capital, went weeks without reliable water in 2022. Healthcare is in crisis mode too. Rural hospitals have shut down in waves, leaving millions without access to care in a state with some of the highest rates of obesity, diabetes, and infant mortality in the developed world. Young people, they're leaving in droves. There's little incentives to stay, and not much effort to keep them. If the U.S. economy crashes, Mississippi doesn't just suffer, it breaks, and recovery could take generations. Number 4, Louisiana. Louisiana often feels like it's constantly bouncing back, but the reality is it's barely holding together. Over 18% of its residents live in poverty, and that hardship is felt in nearly every aspect of life. Roads are crumbling, hospitals are underfunded, schools are struggling to stay open, and in some areas, basic services like sanitation and electricity are unreliable. The economy leans hard on oil and gas, which, while lucrative, is one of the most unstable industries out there. One dip in global demand and thousands of jobs vanish. Entire budgets evaporate overnight. But Louisiana's real curse? It gets hit by everything. Hurricanes, floods, chemical disasters, you name it. And while the state is constantly in recovery mode, it never quite finishes rebuilding before the next blow comes. Its education system ranks among the worst in the country, And public health is just as bad. If a national economic collapse hits, Louisiana will be scrambling for federal aid before Wall Street even opens. Number 3, Illinois. On the surface, Illinois seems solid. It has Chicago, major industries, and a global reputation. But beneath all that lies one of the deepest fiscal holes in the country. The biggest issue? Pensions. Illinois is carrying over $200 billion in unfunded pension liabilities, and it's only getting worse. To keep the system running, the state keeps raising taxes, especially property taxes, which are some of the highest in the U.S. Yet residents don't see those dollars working for them, and schools are underfunded, public services are stretched thin, and the roads are falling apart. People are leaving. The state has seen 10 consecutive years of population decline, and with them go vital tax dollars. Even Chicago, Illinois' economic heart, is burdened by debt, rising crime, and outdated infrastructure. If a major crash hits, Illinois will have nowhere to turn. Its financial system is already maxed out, and one more shock could cause a total spiral. Number 2, West Virginia. West Virginia is already teetering on collapse. This is a state that built its economy on coal, and when that faded, so did everything else. Nothing came to replace it. No tech boom, no innovation hubs, just a long, slow fade into economic stagnation. West Virginia now has the lowest workforce participation rate in the U.S. Nearly half of working-age adults aren't employed, or even looking. Rural areas are turning into ghost towns, and those who stay behind face a brutal lack of opportunity. Healthcare? Barely functioning. The state leads in overdose deaths and has some of the highest rates of heart disease and obesity. Hospitals are closing, and many communities don't even have reliable internet or clean water. With nearly a third of the state budget coming from federal aid, any cuts during a recession would hit like a wrecking ball. West Virginia isn't just vulnerable, it's a warning sign of economic decay in slow motion. Number 1, Nevada. Nevada may look like it's booming, Las Vegas lights, packed casinos, and a seemingly thriving tourism industry. But underneath that shine lies an economy that's dangerously fragile. Over 25% of Nevada's workforce is tied to hospitality, entertainment, and tourism. Sectors that collapse fast when consumers stop spending. Remember the 2008 crash? Nevada was ground zero. Foreclosures swept across the state, neighborhoods were abandoned, hotels shut down, and casinos laid off thousands. The problem? Nevada has no state income tax, so it relies almost entirely on sales and tourism revenue. When visitors stop coming, the money dries up instantly. Even now, rural Nevada relies heavily on government jobs or seasonal work. If the federal government cuts back spending, those communities are in serious trouble. Nevada might shine in good times, but it's not built to survive a downturn. When the next economic crash hits, don't be surprised if the Silver State is the first to fold. These 6 states aren't just economically stressed, they're on the brink. If a serious national crash happens, they won't just feel the impact. They'll be ground zero. So what do you think? Did your state make the list? Let us know in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into the real issues shaping America.